The AC is set to 74.
And we are live.
And we are here, and welcome to tonight's episode of Two Blind Mice. My name is Philip. Mary will not be on tonight. She had a busy day, so she's a little bit tired. So we do have, of course, Albert, the mouthpiece, Justin,
Hello.
the movie review, and we do have a guest tonight, Willem from OKO Technologies. We'll be discussing one of their apps that I recently tried out, and I very, very much liked it. So before we do that, let's go ahead and start out with Justin's review, which I have a funny feeling I'm going to regret because this is going to involve him and Albert, and I'll just take my punches as we go along. So, Justin.
Well, first of all, you have final say on the movies and you didn't argue. So it's kind of your fault, whatever comes your way.
I'll take it into consideration next time.
So we're reviewing the Super Mario Brothers movie. I will lead off with, for our blind viewers that was blind at birth, this movie may not pique your interest all that well. I lost my vision at 25, so I very much grew up playing the Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo and then the Super Nintendo and then later iterations of the Nintendo gaming system. But with that being said, it still is a good, cute, kind-hearted, altogether like family movie. Albert, did you play the games growing up?
Oh, I played them, and my kids played them. And whenever they got tired of playing them, I played them some more.
Okay, so like, I have to say they have done a wonderful job of making sense of things that made you scratch your head about the video game. Of like,
Uh-huh.
how in the storyline is there two like plumbers in the middle of some like evil turtles and
Yep.
like just all general chaos. They also have done it to where it incorporates like multi-platform games. We see the origin stories of how Mario even came to be, which is the old Donkey Kong game.
Mm-hmm.
There's even one scene in the movie that like is just nothing but a nod and a throwback to the original Donkey Kong game, which I thought was brilliantly done. It also goes into tying like how the Super Mario Kart games came about. Uh, I don't know. It's just a phenomenal movie, all the way from beginning to end. Which, from our previous reviews, this one does not have any literary backing. Like it very much is 100% like nerd Nick all the way through. Um, so our movie starts off to where it's failed business start of two brothers doing a plumbing business, and they Brooklyn is underwater because of a sewer backup, from what I gathered. But they're going to save the day, and they get sucked down a pipe and gets transported into this magical mushroom kingdom. Which I'm not gonna lie, like all throughout the movie, I'm like, wow, this guy's like on a bad mushroom trip or something.
uh,
Albert, what do you think?
all I can say is I watched it, and I was smiling through the whole thing because I remember the game when it first came out, and I remember how much joy it brought to my kids, and just watching the different elements, like you said, the turtles, the race cart, all that being developed. It was kind of like watching my kids grow up again. So I really enjoyed it.
Well, and it was even nice, like they made a nod because when I think it was the Nintendo Wii came out, they had a Mario's Luigi Mansion, and while I didn't play it, it was basically Luigi going through a haunted mansion. They even made a nod in one of the scenes to that game. I
Yes, they
do
did.
think I do think we will see a future to where Nintendo does a cinematic universe, much like Marvel has done, because there's just so many spin-offs that they could do. They could do one for Donkey Kong. We still have yet to see Mario's faithful sidekick Yoshi make an appearance. There's still the missing power up that was one of my favorites in Super Mario World, which is the feather that give you the cape. Um, then of course if they do that, then that brings in Zelda. So I think we may be on the start of a new cinematic universe. I don't know. Time will tell.
If they bring out Zelda, they got my money. I will go see that game.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I got a question.
What's that?
Yes, King Pooba.
You sure you ain't Cranky Kong?
The heck? Acting out on Phil tonight or something? Going back to my
Too
question.
bad Mary's not here.
Oh, not exactly bad now. I'm glad she's not here.
What was your question, sir?
Are there any plans for making an IMAX version of Pong?
Pong.
I mean, come on,
I would
guys.
play it. I
Come
would
on.
play it.
I mean, really. I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you want to sit there at the theater for 2 hours just watching a ball go back and forth and back and forth?
So I think there's a low budget of that, and like college frat parties do it. It's called beer pong.
Moving on. All right. Before we get to Willem and OKO, I'm going to just give out a couple of announcements. One, guys, next Monday, June 12th, we're going to start doing the Spanish version of this show. It will be run by our friend of the show, Macarena. I'll be co-hosting. You want to have a good time? Come on in and listen to me try to talk in Spanish, because I'm planning on doing a whole show in Spanish. We had a conversation over the weekend, Macarena and I, and it was all in Spanish, and I got tired. I'm used to speaking English. Speaking Spanish, it wore me out. So I'm hoping to get back into the rhythm. Now, I do know Spanish. I understand that.
Are we changing the title?
No, staying the same. We're just going to Two Blind Mice en Español.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do it this time.
Dos ratones español.
I'm not going to say. Oh, I'm fighting the urge to do it again. So just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Okay, now before we start with Willem, guys, I want to make another announcement. We got something big to announce after we speak to Willem. You might want to stick around because you might be interested as to what's going on. To us, at least, it's a huge announcement, and we're hoping that it takes off. That's all I'm going to say. Stick around towards the end, and you'll find out what it is. So, to quote a cliche, without further ado, Willem, welcome to Two Blind Mice. Nice to meet you.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet everyone as well.
Okay, everybody. Now, Willem, he is with OKO Technologies. They created an app that like I said, I like very much, and I have tried it out. And if I didn't think it was a good app, I wouldn't have invited him to come on. But I think it's a fantastic app, and I think I want to promote it. So, Willem, who is OKO Technologies?
Yeah, sure. So basically the OKO app is a brand new application that uses artificial intelligence to make every intersection accessible for blind and visually impaired people. The idea started roughly 2 years ago when a mutual friend of ours, who is blind himself, told us that during COVID, less people were out on the street. So that meant less people to listen to the flow of traffic, but also less people to help safely cross the street. So that's when myself and my two co-founders as AI engineers, we started thinking, okay, if a Tesla can drive at 60 miles per hour, why can't we use AI techniques to help a person walk down the street at 3 miles per hour, or sometimes with a guide dog even faster? And that's what we set out to do. So we quit our jobs. We started full-time to creating an application. And that application launched in the US roughly 2 months ago. Basically what it does is it uses the back camera of your iPhone to recognize a pedestrian signal and then inform the user of the status of that signal. we're only looking at pedestrian signals that have the walk and the don't walk, like the red hand and the white walking man. And then there's also the status of the red hand with the seconds next to it. And we bring back all of these 3 types of different states. We say a slow ticking vibrations for the don't walk, a fast ticking vibration for the walk, and then kind of like an intermediate sound for the countdown. And that way it's like very intuitive to learn to understand what the status is of that traffic light.
Well,
it's very important that, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Willem. Go ahead.
It's very important to know that the application runs locally on the smartphone. So that means no Wi-Fi or cellular connection is required. That's of course very important that it's as reliable at every intersection that you come up to. You're not reliant on a Wi-Fi or cellular connection. And that makes that it's also responds super, super fast. So you can imagine if you're holding it against your chest, that's what we usually say, hold the phone against your chest with the camera pointing outwards. The moment you start doing kind of like a rotational aspect, for example, from if the traffic flow, your parallel traffic flow is on your right, and if you start scanning from your left towards that parallel traffic flow, the moment you start getting feedback from the OKO app is the moment that you also know, okay, this is actually the direction that I want to head in. And that way you also are oriented correctly towards the intersection that you want to cross. Some people even use like a lanyard case to let the phone hang loose against their chest so that they don't have to hold the phone. And that can also be helpful while you're crossing the street to stop you from veering off into traffic, because the moment you veer off into traffic is the moment OKO will become silent. And that way, you know, okay, I'm no longer oriented in the correct direction that I want to cross in. So it's really a whole new application. It's very important, of course, to mention is that we're not a replacement to your orientation and mobility training. We're just another tool in your toolbox where we really try to bring back that extra information to you.
Well, let me tell you from personal experience, it is amazing. I, as I told you before the show, one of the features that I love about it is it has a very loud volume on the tone that, or the beeps that it gives out. So you really don't have to worry about setting the volume on your phone. It does it automatically. And I think that's pretty good when you're either walking with a guide dog or using a navigation cane. That's one less thing to distract you. The only thing I did not do was walk across the street and see what would happen if I veered off the crosswalk. Frankly, I was not aware of that until just now. So next time I go downtown, I am going to try that feature. Hopefully I can do it safely, but it is an impressive app. If anybody wants to see a demo of it, there is, I believe I put a video up on the Two Blind Mice page. So you're welcome to review it. And the great thing about this, like many apps that are associated or, designed for persons with vision loss, is that it's free. Awesome. And that's just, it's really amazing. I can't, on this show, we do talk a lot of, we try to bring as many representatives as we can to introduce new technologies. And this is one of my favorite apps. And I'm glad that you guys did introduce it. And I got no problem trying it. Justin, have you had the opportunity to try that app?
No, I have not had a chance to try it yet, but I'm eager to, especially hearing about it.
I really
Did you hear about us yet, Justin? Or
so I'd heard about it from Philip. He had talked about it, and whenever we spoke about it, I was out and about, and honestly, I forgot to research it whenever I got home. But I'm going to look into it, and I'm eager to try it.
Do you come across many crosswalks with walk, don't walk signals?
So where I'm at locally, not necessarily, but about 30 minutes north or south, there's bigger cities that do have lighted interchanges. So that'll give me a chance.
Yeah, same. I'm in the same situation you are. I mean, the largest town is about a 10 to 15 minute drive away. The downtown area, that's another 10 minutes. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But the fact is, I'm not used to walking in the downtown that I was at. And I left after listening to the app work. I left thinking I can walk down this town, down these streets now. And it just gave me quite a lot of independence that I'm definitely going to try. We're getting ready to start a project that's going to make me go out downtown. So I'm very happy I found this app. I don't use a guide dog. I just use the navigation cane. And unfortunately, we don't have APSs here. For those of you who don't know what APS are, they're assisted pedestrian signals. So this is a very affordable app to use. And I would love to use it in combination with APS. So, I mean, are there any other technologies that you're working on at OKO, Willem?
Yeah, so what we're currently working on is improving the current experience. So, for example, what you mentioned with the sound, we're working on like having the option to have different sounds. Because you mentioned that it's good that the sound stands out so much. There are some people that were complaining about the sound as well. So the option to have different kind of sounds is something that we're working on. But also, for example, optimizing the battery impact, because it's very, very complex AI algorithms that are run locally on the phone. So that means that there is some battery impact. And so that means that we're really working hard on optimizing the impact that the OKO app has on your battery. But also, for example, creating a more immersive experience when you're using that app. For example, bringing back more information about the intersection that you're about to cross is something that we're working on. But there's also multiple options to be added down the line. I think today Apple launched like the new Pro Vision, their new AR MR glasses. They could be a game changer for blind and visually impaired people, and the OKO app will be one of the first apps to be supported by that, just by leveraging their cameras and their very powerful chips to run all kinds of complex AI algorithms on it.
Wow.
So I do kind of have one question of the future iterations down the line. You mentioned that when you veer off course that you lose that audio feedback. I know whenever I cross streets independently, like one of the things that gives me the most anxiety is that fear of walking into the oncoming traffic flow. Possibly, like, if there's a way you could do it to where when we're going closer to oncoming traffic, like there's a louder noise, or the opposite direction if we're going away from it, like that reduces its sound to help give the user more feedback to know where they veered off a course.
Okay, yeah, that will be very interesting. So, actually, I write down all of these types of feedback, and then we combine what the whole community brings to us, and then we decide, okay, this can be something interesting to be added down the line. That's also why there's lots of options within the app to give us feedback, because we love being close to the community. The app was originally co-developed with more than 100 blind and visually impaired people. And we also work together closely with orientation and mobility specialists, because that's how you create an app for this community, is by being close and working together with the community. So if you, for example, if anyone out there has another suggestion that they want to make, you can do so directly in the app. It's super accessible and it's very easy to use.
That's how I contacted you to ask you to come on the show. Yeah, these guys will answer.
That's exactly right. And you can confirm that we read the emails. Eh?
Yes, exactly. They didn't waste any time either. I expected, I did it about, I think it was like 9 p.m. I sent an email out. I didn't expect a response until the following morning, regular business day. 10 minutes later, I get a response, and I was very surprised about that. So these guys will listen to you. So if you have any questions, they'll really respond. And so they're very, well, no pun intended, they're very accessible. So one thing, I do have a question to ask. I know that you mentioned that the app works as long as there's the symbol of either walk or don't walk. Does it work with text signals instead of symbol signals? I don't even know there's any text crosswalk signals still out there anymore. I don't recall seeing any before I lost my vision. But I was wondering, just in case you got this backwards community that says we're going to keep using walk and don't walk, would it work with that?
No, it will not work on those signals. So on the very few signals that are still out there with the text "don't walk" and "walk," it doesn't work yet. And that's the beauty of AI. We can expand and teach OKO how to recognize these types of pedestrian signals. But currently, it's only the red hand and the white walking man. And the beauty of that is that if you start scanning with the OKO application and it's not there, then you also know, okay, there's no walk or don't walk signal available. So you can make an informed decision. Like, for example, this might be a stop sign intersection or something else, because I know that there's no don't walk or walk signal available.
Another thing that I did like about it, and I kind of was skeptical that it was going to work, was the signal that I was using as a sample was facing the sun. The sun was setting. It was just about to go down, but it was still bright enough that it was causing glare, and I didn't see it. A friend of mine was with me that told me that. So my concern was, is the glare from the sun going to affect it? It didn't at all, not at all. And I was very surprised about that, because I figured it was not going to read it because the sun's hitting the display directly, but it didn't. It wasn't even an issue, and I was very surprised.
Yeah. So really, that's really nice to hear. That's the power again of artificial intelligence. I've had cases where I was testing it out where I could barely see that pedestrian signal, and OKO just picks it up. We do give the general rule, the general understanding. If a sighted person would not be able to see that pedestrian signal, then OKO will not as well. But sometimes it performs even more powerful than a sighted person.
I would say so. I can't argue that from my experience. So that it's a fantastic app. I would recommend that anybody who's watching this and is experiencing vision loss, I would recommend that you do download it. You know, we're supposed to give ratings when we download an app sometimes. I'd give this one a 5. That's how impressed I am with it. And I think many people that will download it will very much likely do the same thing. Now, Willem, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I do have a question. This is the only app for visually impaired persons that has a rewards program. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So we're backed by investors. So that means that we, of course, need to set certain goals. And our goal now is to get as many users as possible loving the application. And we figured to do that is to help spread the word of the OKO app. So that means that right now there's a campaign live where you can just refer a friend and you get some points. And then there's a leaderboard. And then the person that has referred the most amount of friends gets a $50 Amazon gift card.
You hear that, Justin?
Yeah.
You know, that $50
Chicken wings.
You know,
Well, so I do kind of. Go ahead.
what was that? Albert?
Ghosts are breaking in. I don't know.
Again? Anyway, Justin, you were saying.
Yeah, so just kind of a follow-up question. Willem, you said you have investors. Is there any way that people can donate to help get this, to help keep this going, or is this surely just backed by investors and y'all are happy to give it for free?
No, there's not really a way that you need to donate or anything. What we do is we try to get close to cities and governments, because in a sense they have the responsibility to increase their accessibility, and OKO can be such a great solution for them. Furthermore, we can give great data insights into what the city can do or can bring. And so that's really how we try to sell the OKO app to cities and governments and keep providing it for free for the end user, because in a sense, it's our mission and it's a tough mission. But if a sighted person doesn't need to pay to see the traffic light, then a blind or visually impaired person shouldn't have to pay for it either. And that's really our goal.
Yeah, but a couple of months ago. Oh, go ahead, Justin. Go.
But I was just going to say that is awesome. I mean, I love that we have the ability to support a company that, number one, is going to keep it free for the user, but also advocating for the blind and visually impaired to make the world more accessible to them and not feel like they have to do a whole lot more hoops than anybody else does just to go to get a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
A couple of months ago, I started a campaign in our area. Our area consists of 4 counties. Like I said, we're at the very bottom of South Texas. And I started a campaign to start seeing if we can get cities to start installing assisted pedestrian signals, or APSs. And of course, in that regard, it does involve municipalities to take the lead on that. I've only heard one response, and that's my neighboring town. And I've been told that they've budgeted for 8 intersections in that city. To date, nothing has been developed, but that's expected. I worked in city governments for 20 years, and budgets don't always go as they're planned. Regardless, I'm not going to give up. And like I said, however, APSs, they do need cities' approvals and so forth. In which regard is OKO collaborating with cities? What are they trying to do? And the reason I ask is there anything that I can work on my end to help OKO with this app?
Yeah, so there's lots of cities that are working on data insights into what their how they can increase the flow of traffic within their city. So that means as well, for example, accessibility. So the OKO application can give insights to a city on these types of data requirements, but also, for example, with these new types of traffic lights, we can get longer green times for blind and visually impaired people. There's lots of different insights and value that the OKO app can bring to a city, while of course also guaranteeing accessibility at every intersection. And that's really what we're for, is that every intersection can be accessible for blind and visually impaired people.
Okay, I understand, and I understand in more ways than one. One of them being, when I was using the app, if you get the opportunity to watch the demo video that I did, one thing that surprised me was the walk and don't walk signals. You had roughly 10 to 15 seconds to cross the street. And that's based on the response from the app. Now, I know that, when you have a pedestrian stop, you see that, and then it switches to the walk symbol, and then it'll flash to indicate it's about to go back to don't walk. And that's what I noticed on the app. Either the lights were not calibrated right, that I had less than 10 seconds to cross the street if I had decided to do so, or the app was reading the flashing don't walk part of the
okay.
on the signal. So that's what I understand now what you mean. I see why you mean that time should be extended, because I was very surprised at what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Willem?
I can't think of any.
Yeah, you pretty much covered it. I mean, that's what I like about it. It's a very easy app to use. It's no offense, it's a very basic app to use, but considering that it's so simple and basic to use, it does a tremendous job. As the saying goes, good things, big things come in small packages. I would say that about this app. Willem, do you have anything to add? Close up the conversation with?
No, thanks for having me,
awesome.
and thanks for the chat.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Willem, and we do appreciate you being here. You can sign off if you want, or you can stick around till the end of the show. I just got to make one quick announcement before we sign off as a whole.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Willem. Have a good night.
All
right, going on with the show, guys. One of the things that Mary and I have had for a couple of years now is a charity called the White Cane Project. The goal of the charity is to put a white navigation cane in every visually impaired person's hand that needs one but cannot afford it. Here in the US, there's a lot of services that do provide free navigation canes. So that need is not as much. Unfortunately, the same thing cannot be said about countries outside of the US. We have donated to privately funded School for the Blind down in Mexico City. I think we've donated anywhere from 50 to 60 apps, or I'm sorry, 50 to 60 canes at no cost to them. Just across the border here, we've donated, I think, about 10 to 15. So we've donated quite a substantial amount. Canes, before the economy that we had here, were not expensive. On the average, I think they were like $25 a piece. Today, you can say you can pretty much average it up to $50 a cane. And needless to say, that has put a strain on our finances for the charity. So we still don't want to give up. We've received news that there is a group of blind persons in Cuba that we're going to also focus on. And it's safe to say that once the word gets out, there's going to be others from across the world reaching out to us. We don't want to disappoint anybody. We want to do the best we can. Like I said, our goal is to put a cane in every visually impaired person in the world. With that in mind, we are doing a fundraiser. We did do one a week ago, and it looks like we did pretty good. That was with the Lions Club of Harlingen, which we are members of. And we have a new one. What happened in that particular case was there's a local blog that has tens of thousands of followers that, and the blog itself is called Explore Harlingen blog. And it pretty much posts new business announcements, businesses having sales, events that are happening around town, and so forth and so forth. They do that. So they helped us do the previous fundraiser. And one of the followers on that page did see the fundraiser and reached out to me. And the result being that he offered us some sports tickets for us to raffle off. So starting tonight after the show, we will start posting up a flyer digitally, as many pages as we can. If you happen to come across it, we would greatly appreciate if you could share it to everyone, as many as possible. This is not a local raffle, it's digital, so it can be done anywhere in the state, and maybe even out of state if you want to travel. And this is what the raffle is. Now, before going further, I want to thank Neil Tickets LLC. They were the ones that gave us the tickets, and we greatly appreciate it. We will be the contact information if you want to purchase directly from Neil Tickets LLC. They do sports tickets, they do concert tickets, they do sports memorabilia, sports clothing. They do all that. And if you want to get yourself a football jersey, they'll help you with it. You want to get yourself a cap, they'll help you with it. Reach out to them. And of course, they also do venue tickets. So we want to again express our thanks to Neil Tickets LLC for their donation to the White Cane Project. So this is what the raffle is going to be all about. There's two of them separately running at the same time. The first one is 2 preseason tickets to Dallas Cowboys game on August the 26th. Cowboys will be playing the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, these are not nosebleeds. Don't expect that these, I found out where they were, and these are pretty good tickets. No, these are good tickets. All right. Now, along with that raffle with the Cowboys and Raiders game, we will include 1 night hotel stay. And again, we're not going to put you in a flea bag. It's going to be a nice hotel. So it's going to be a digital raffle. You want to purchase tickets, you can purchase, or better yet, if you want to purchase entries, you can purchase as many entries as you want. It's all done digitally. All you have to do is Cash App the following, $, White Cane Project, all one word, spelled WHITECANEPROJECT, to submit an entry. Now, I'm not done yet. We will also have tickets donated to us, again, by Neil Tickets LLC, to a regular season Houston Astros game. This game will be on September 9th, and it will be, I believe it's a Saturday, and they will be playing the San Diego Padres. Now, if you're keeping up with baseball, Astros are in second place behind the Rangers. So we'll see what happens between now and then. That drawing also includes 1 night hotel stay.
Hey, Phil,
Yeah,
you forgot to mention the dollar amount.
I know I didn't.
Yes, you did. Yeah, because
No,
I
I
was going to ask what. Yeah, I was going to ask what is the cost for entry.
Well, you guys are just too impatient. Okay, because I was just about to announce it right now, actually. Guys, I think you can get a pretty good deal on this, because to get an entry, it's $20 per entry. You might say it's a little too much, but when you think about the seat locations, I think you get a pretty good deal. The seat location information will be on the flyer that we will be posting up on Two Blind Mice on Facebook, on a couple of other sites and pages. So it's all there. Now, just a little bit. If you do want to enter the drawing, but you don't want to use Cash App, the other two options that we have available are: one, email us at the Two Blind Mice Show at gmail.com. That's TheTwoBlindMiceshow, all one word, at gmail.com. Let me know that you want an entry. We'll work something out. Or two, you can call or text me at 956-238-7753. That's 956-238-7753. That's for those of you who do not want to go through Cash App. We will have this raffle going from now until July the 2nd, and the drawing will be held live here on Two Blind Mice on July the 3rd. Please take the opportunity to enter as many drawings as you want. This is for a great cause. We want to get canes out to as many visually impaired people as we want. We can't do it without you. So you never know, you might have a great game to go to. You might enjoy it. You might just get more than your money's worth. And we hope that you do participate. We will make it available. It doesn't matter where you live. This is digital. So if you want to travel from El Paso to Houston to see the Astros play, it's your choice. You can do it. Doesn't matter to me. If you want to go from Amarillo to Dallas to watch the Cowboys play, same thing. It's up to you. And like I said, we will be doing this until July the 2nd. And as a disclosure, the winner will be provided tickets through SeatGeek. So if you don't already have a SeatGeek account, I recommend you open one if you do enter. That's a ticket selling site. We've used it. It's pretty simple. That's how we're going to get the tickets out to you. It's all done digitally. Again, it's only $20. It's for 2 tickets a piece. I think it's a fantastic deal. If I could enter myself, I would do so. Same thing with my wife, but we don't want to do that. So we need your help. We're going to help people in Mexico. We're going to help people in Cuba. We're going to help people everywhere if we can, but we can't do it without you. We
So
need your support. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just to put it in context for our viewers, like you have the chance of getting these tickets for half of what it costs to put a cane in a blind person's hands. So like that is absolutely a wonderful deal. So you want to buy 2 tickets, that means we get to put a cane in a blind person's hand, and it also gives you 2 chances to go see either a football game or a baseball game. So it is a great deal.
Oh, yeah. Just to clarify, Justin just said something that kind of scared me. Okay. One entry, $20 is for the Cowboys. You can do 5 entries if you want. And again, the Houston Astros raffle is a separate raffle. So you can enter both. It's $20 a piece. So $40 at least. So don't get it confused. We're not including 2 tickets to the Cowboys. We're not including 2 tickets to the Astros in one drawing. It's 2 separate raffles, $20 an entry, one each, or $20 for a Cowboys entry, $20 for an Astros entry. So please don't get that confused. So it's not $20 for 4 tickets or a chance to win 4 tickets. It's $20 to win 2 tickets. Your choice as to which venue you want to try out for. We're very excited about this. We hope we can accomplish quite a bit. Like I said, I can't stress it enough. We can't do it without you. So let's see what we can do to help those who cannot afford canes. And like I said, yes, we do Mexico. We're probably going to expand worldwide soon, but we also do here in the United States. So we just need to expand this. My wife and I talked about it, and we know that we need to grow because there's a need out there. So guys,
So
again, go ahead.
Well, hang on, just for clarification. So since y'all are running 2 separate raffles on when they're sending money on Cash App, do they need to put like under the 4 as in it's for the Cowboys entry or the Houston entry? Like what do they need to do on that?
They need to, yes, specify as to who it is and add a phone number or other contact information if it fits. That way we know who to get in contact with once if they win. So yes, specify this entries for Cowboys or specify this entries for Astros. You can just put on their Cowboys. You can put on their Astros. And I would highly recommend that you put your phone number after that. That way I can get in contact with you in the event that you win. I think we're done for tonight's show. Just a quick reminder, starting next Monday, we will be doing the Spanish version of the show. 2 Blind Mice en Español. I'm fighting the urge. Should I do it?
Do it.
2 Blind Mice en Español. Goal!
Oh my God.
I could have gone longer.
I can't believe you did it.
Yeah, neither can I.
Are we done, Phil?
Yeah, we're done, guys. Please have fun. Enjoy the raffle. Sign up. We'll be putting the flyers up after the show or early tomorrow mornings with additional information, actually all the information. So please, if anything, even if you don't want to buy a ticket, share it. Get the word spread out as much as we can. Our goal is to make $20 million, but we'll settle for 2,000. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so thank you very much for joining us tonight, guys. We hope you found the OKO app interesting. It is a great app. I recommend it. Download it, use it, have fun. Enjoy your independence. Have a good night, everybody. Push the buttons, Albert.
I'm pushing.